Hey folks, Purpose Economy by Aaron Hurst. Quick reading today. This time I'm actually going to read from it, unlike when I did the mastery thing the other day, just telling George Leonard's story. Here it's actually a quote from Robert F. Kennedy from 1968, in which he said, "Too much and too long, we seem to have surrendered community excellence and community values and the mere accumulation of material things. Our gross national product, if we should judge America by that, counts air pollution and cigarette advertising, and ambulances to clear out highways of carnage. It counts special locks for our doors, and the jails for those who break them. It counts the destruction of our redwoods, and the loss of our natural wonder in chaotic sprawl. It counts napalm and the cost of a nuclear warhead, and armored cars for police to fight riots in our streets. It counts Whitman's rifle and Speck's knife, and the television programs, which glorify violence in order to sell toys to our children. Yet the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, the quality of their education, or the joy of their play. It does not include the beauty of our poetry, or the strength of our marriages, the intelligence of our public debate, or the integrity of our public officials. It measures neither our wit nor our courage, neither our wisdom nor our learning, neither our compassion nor our devotion to our country. It measures everything, in short, except that which makes life worthwhile. And it tells us everything about America except why we are proud that we are Americans." Again, that was Robert F. Kennedy, 1968, although specifically as quoted by Aaron Hurst in Purpose Economy. And what I like about it is obviously, it's Kennedy, so he's focused on gross national product, the entire country. But it's a useful question all of us can ask ourselves about our private lives, about the answers we're seeking. So often when we take a line of inquiry, line of study, line of training in life, the questions that'll be coming to us from our parents, from others who, to be fair, care about us, and it's a fair question to ask, is how are you going to get a job out of that? How are you going to make money doing that? And again, you got to answer those questions. You got to find some answer to keep yourself afloat, keep yourself secure. But I think an equally important question is, how will you be helping people through that? What are you going to do to make the world better by doing that? Right? Will it be helping people's relationships? Will it be helping people learn? Will it be helping people's wisdom? Will it be helping people have confidence or security of their own? Will it be adding value to the world in terms of joy for children, in terms of opportunities for others? Whatever you're doing, if we find an answer which materially is justified, but has no other justification in those other regards, then I think the answer is you got to keep looking. And I think that cannot have been the answer yet. And this is something that I think even comes into our thinking about public and private space. And again, material wealth is what GDP is all about. But if you think about how much land and how many books you have, and it's coming from maybe an America-centric perspective because it's the nation I live in and the only one that I know, compared to someone like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or Bill Gates or whoever. Because all public land is shared among all the people, because all the books in libraries are shared among all the people, because the internet is resources shared among essentially all the people. These people who are uber wealthy by individual standards actually own a finite number of acres more than everybody else. And when I say own, all I really mean is that they have a position where they can say that they don't have to share this with everybody else. But if we think about the public parks, if we think about the public spaces, if we think about even the commercially public spaces, the shopping malls, the public parks, the sometimes libraries at institutions that are open to them being used by public, those are things which we've come upon sort of a shared understanding, a shared agreement of, well, we don't want anyone else to be using this beach in a certain way, and we won't either. And there's structures in place how we set that up, but that is really shared resource. And when we think about how much we have in our lives, how much we have to build upon, how many advantages that we have to work from, it comes from the past of people who are behind us figured out some way to give into the public sphere. Someone who found a way to make something available to be shared by more people. And this is sort of an opposite problem to solve. When we look at, a list of the wealthiest people, when we consider who's most successful in history, when we consider who by traditional standards is very successful, we're typically looking at, again, how much have they found a way to keep for themselves? And we're not asking, I think, the right question of what have they done for the general public? What have they done for more people? What have they done for others And in the case of maybe some of these people, like, for example, Zuckerberg, it's maybe becoming increasingly clear that they've done well for themselves privately and reality at a great cost to the general public in terms of their information being available to people that shouldn't have it, and so on. But anyway, that's stuff for the day. Obviously, there's plenty of work to do to unroll this, but it comes down to thinking in the same way as a GDP maybe measures some of the wrong things for a country and totally fails entirely to measure some of the right things for a way it ought to be steered, the way its success ought to be measured. I think the same thing is useful to look at in our own lives as to, well, again, this is not to hate on earning money or say earning money is not important, and I understand there's a minimum level which must be met in anyone's life to be comfortable, functional, secure, and to secure certain opportunities. But aside from that and beyond that, I think it's important to be asking these questions about how are we personally in our lives, in our paths, in our choices, in our areas of focus, doing more to help others, doing more to improve the lives of others, doing more to enrich life for more people, which is really a separate question from how much are we privately accumulating for ourselves. That's enough for today. Thank you as always for tuning in. I have another video for you tomorrow.